Against Gervonta Davis? I don't know. I mean, it would be very interesting, very compelling, but I wouldn't be worried about Gervonta Davis getting knocked out. But you fought basketball players, you fought strikers in the UFC, you fought a 50-year-old, Mike Tyson. Yeah, the money was there, but it wasn't the toughest matches in the world. Why'd you pick those fights? Because you could make money without it being much of a risk.
Stephen A. Smith has officially crashed the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis party, and he came in loud, opinionated, and absolutely unfiltered.
Got you. So as you sit here right now, you're 30-0, 28 knockouts, clearly one of the top 5 fighters on the planet, if not number 1 in a lot of people's eyes. That's what we say about Tank Davis. How do you feel about you, where you are at right now in your career, pound for pound?
I mean, I can't really say. I just gotta, I'm the type of guy that, I really don't like pay attention to that because I'm still in the mix. So I just gotta keep my head grounded, stay grounded and just, my whole goal was always to go out there and put on a great performance, like every night,
He opened with that signature fire saying Jake Paul respect the grind, but don't. Confuse courage with experience, then added Gervonta Davis hits like a meteor. This is not a sparring session. This is life-changing.
Punch, he's a knockout artist. He can box. He's not given enough credit for it, okay? He closes. He finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? The time has arrived for us to stand down and to start giving Gervonta Davis the love and respect that he deserves. This brother is elite.
Breaking it down, Stephen, a worn size only buys you so much time. Once Tank finds you, the lights go out. He dissected their styles too. Jake moves awkwardly for a natural fighter. Tank is a born assassin with quickness and timing that'll make you pay for one mistake.
By the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer, and that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're gonna have to fight somebody who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please, with sugar on top.
Wrapping up, he hit the stakes perfectly. If Jake wins, Hayes Global. If he loses, this might expose the limits of Influencer Boxing Classic. Stephen, a loud, dramatic, and somehow both hilarious and dead serious at the same time and right. After Stephen A. lit the internet on fire, Jake Paul came swinging into TMZ. Sports sounding like a man who's equal parts confident and quietly terrified. And honestly, that's the best kind of fighter to watch. You could hear it in his voice.
Actually, internally, I'm the most scared going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I'm scared, but I'm still coming for Tank. That's not fear, that's adrenaline. With WI-FI, the man's bringing in shocker. Stevenson for sparring Raymond Ford Montana Love, like Jake's out here building his own mini Avengers just to prepare. For Gervonta Davis and bro, that's wild, because Tank's the kind of fighter who doesn't just test your chin, he tests your soul.
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Love in. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed and not as much on power. I'm not doing as much weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle.
Jake talking about losing muscle for more speed. That's commitment, my guys. Treating this like a Fast Furious. Reboot, less horsepower, more torque. But when he said this is his toughest test and it's keeping him up at night, you could tell. He knows exactly what Hayes walking into this. Isn't another influencer fight, this is Jake. Paul staring down one of the most dangerous men in boxing history and saying, let's dance whether you love him or hate. Him you can't lie if he actually beats. Gervonta Davis, it wouldn't just break the internet, it would delete it.
Else in the sport to be able to compete at this level and to be able to hang in there with these guys. But I do believe that I have the power and the offense to be able to walk Tank into a knockout like I've done with other opponents and set them up for it. And so I am fully confident in my ability, and I think it would be one of the craziest upsets in a long time.
Right after Jake strutted out of TMZ talking shocker sparring muscle cuts and Netflix money moves coach Kenny, Ellis slides in calm as a preacher but sharp as a scalpel, and suddenly the whole narrative flips. Listen, I love that Ellis is handing out backpacks and building kids up, but don't sleep on the subtext. And he says Hayes not at all worried about Jake's height or power, and then shrugs at a knockout prediction with a classic no comment. That's not uncertainty, that's confidence. Dressed as chill.
Now switching gears, and Tank has a big fight coming up with Jake Paul. Jake Paul is like a heavyweight, Tank's a lightweight. How does he adjust to that weight? How do you see the fight playing out?
I can't give up too much, but
yeah,
we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it.
Definitely. So you're not worried about his power or his height or anything like that?
Not at all. It's three ways you can skin a cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Jake wants this to be physics, more mass, more force, but Tank's camp treats it like chess, not a push-up contest. You want my hot take? If Jake's plan is to outsize Tank, picked the wrong textbook. Tank's instincts and awkward angles are the kind of problems speed and power alone don't solve. And when Ellis says, well, cross that bridge, to me that reads as we've already built the bridge and installed the explosives. This one's got knockout potential, but it's also got trapdoors, and we're all going to be watching to see who falls through.
All I do is train. When Tank call me, I'm in the camp. As far as the business side, I don't get into that.
There'll be lots of fans in attendance. Jake Paul's fans and Tank's fans,
For
and
sure.
we look forward to see what happens.
It's gonna be an epic event, man. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, you think it'll be a knockout?
No comment.
All right, we'll see what happens. We'll have to tune in.
And just when you thought Coach Ellis' calm, calculated vibes had the narrative locked down, Daniel Cormier bursts in like a freight train, like, nah, I'm not letting this slide. The man went full heavyweight on the mic, not pulling punches. Just straight calling Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis an embarrassment to boxing. You could feel the frustration boiling up. He wasn't just annoyed, he was genuinely offended at the state of the sport. Cormier looked at this matchup like a professor, watching students turn in crayon drawings on exam day. How is this even allowed, he said. And honestly, Hay is not wrong.
Jake Paul is huge compared to Gervonta Davis. And two, Gervonta Davis don't even know what weight they fighting, D.
Maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition.
It was 190.
The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know.
Tank not knowing the fight weight, that's like showing up to your own wedding and asking who's getting married. Jake's out here rewriting boxing's rulebook one press conference at a time. Tank standing there, confused, and the commissions. Probably somewhere thinking, hey, let's see what happens. Cormier was saying what a lot of us have been whispering. Boxing's losing its grip on logic. A 195-pound YouTuber fighting a 135 pounds world champion? That's not just a mismatch. That's a Marvel crossover. Nobody asked for, but hurries the thing. It's so wild, so chaotic, that we still can't look away, because that's boxing in 2025. Part circus, part art, all adrenaline, and DC Hayes, the guy yelling from the sidelines, trying to remind everyone that this sport used to be sacred before it turned into a social media experiment with gloves on.
He didn't even know what weight they were fighting. He's like, I thought it was
That's bad,
190, it was 195.
That was the craziest thing. That was the thing that stood out to me the most. Was that when they go, the rehydration limit or something is 195. And he goes, wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for.
And right after Daniel Cormier dropped his verbal combo, Abel Sanchez slid in like the calm before a thunderstorm, except this man brought full-on lightning with logic. He basically said, yeah, Jake and Tank might fight, but if it's an exhibition, it's a circus. And honestly, Hayes not wrong. We've hit that point in boxing where half the crowd wants blood and the other half just wants Netflix paydays and TikTok highlights Abel's out there, rebuilding his gym with no power yet still. Managing to serve more common sense than half the internet combined, he didn't just talk fights, talked legacy strategy and respect for the sport, which is rare energy in today's money-chasing fight scene. You can feel Hayes worried about the sport, losing credibility if these high-dollar exhibitions start replacing real competition.
You know, he'll probably get 10 million to fight Lamont Roach, and then he'll make 50 million with Jake Paul. It's hard to get, you know, to that type of money to get away from it. It's really tempting, you know?
Well, as a businessman and as somebody's got to prepare their future, I mean, I can't blame him, but it's not good for the sport. I think that is Gervonta Davis is a very good fighter. Like I said, he's one of my favorites, so I would hate to see him do that. But who am I to question somebody's money earning?
But what really made me sit up was how Abel still gave Tank his flowers, straight up said the man's got instincts. You can't teach like a street-smart predator who learned timing from real chaos, not mitt drills. That's next-level respect. And when he mentioned Shakur Stevenson, you could feel the admiration, but Abel wasn't even pretending Shakur could outsmart Tank, he made it clear. Tank's resourcefulness and unpredictability in the ring are unmatched. Abel broke down how Tank's style comes from survival, how he reads situations instinctively, and how that's why Hayes so deadly. So yeah, if Tank keeps chasing circus checks instead of stepping into fights with elite competition, it's like watching LeBron retire early to do celebrity. Bowling, entertaining, sure, but would all be screaming for what could have been.
How do you like that fight playing out, Gervonta and Shakur? Who wins that fight, Abel?
I'm not gonna go against my man. I have to take Davis. You know, I think he does things in there that we as coaches can't teach. You know, he does things in there from the street. He does he's so calculating that I would have to take Davis.
All right, so here's the wrap up, and I want you to pay attention because this fight isn't just about punches. It's about legacy, chaos, and clout. Jake Paul's out here scheming, building his Avengers-level sparring squad, trimming muscle, and hyping himself like Hayes about to rewrite the rulebook while Gervonta Davis stays that quiet storm. Instincts honed from street fights to world title wars, ready to make one wrong move for Jake. A literal lights-out moment. You've got Stephen A. lighting up the hot takes, DC screaming logic from the sidelines, Coach Ellis flexing calm confidence, and Abel Sanchez dropping street-smart wisdom on why Tank isn't just a knockout artist, Hayes a chess player in a meat locker. It's wild, it's unpredictable. And honestly, it might be the most talked-about clash of pure spectacle versus raw skill we've seen in years.
I'm sure he got in a lot of fights with a lot of big guys, and he had to figure out a way to hold his own, and how he ducks and how he throws his punches. To me, it's similar of he got in a fight with a 6'3" guy, and he had to knock him out, and the only way to do it is to do that awkward things that he does, and I think that's why he's so effective. He knows how to prepare with the things that he's got. His mind seems to be working all the time.
Now I want you to drop your thoughts down in the comments. Who's taking this as Jake Paul's hype enough to survive? Is Tank's instincts, or is this the fight that finally proves influencer boxing has limits? Debate, argue? Roast me, I don't care. I want to see it all. And don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. We're breaking down the fights, the drama, and the chaos, one clip at a time. See you in the next one. And remember, this isn't just boxing. This is 2025. Style.